What the hell's a butt sock?
I don't know. I've never used that term.
Stock, as in the stock of the good. Butt sock. What the hell's a butt sock?
I don't know. I've never used that term.
Stock, as in the stock of the good.
Put a sock on it.
A butt sock. Don't know what that was. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another exciting edition of Reality Skewed Gamers. With you always is me, Ranger J 1999, and Mr. Potato Head himself, Dr. Finity. I'm going to start calling him Doctor because he is a doctor. He's a doctor. He has a degree. He's educated. And we've got some special guests tonight, Mr. Finity. You want to introduce our special guest tonight?
Sure. So we have Mr. Grande Patron.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say hi, Mr. Grande Patron?
Hello. How is everybody?
And we have the Catman himself, Mr. Dark Lord Lampshade.
What's going on, interwebs?
We have Lampshade on. Okay. So.
You invited him, man. I mean.
Yeah, I know.
So what's up, Finn? What's going on with you, brother?
Team USA jersey, hockey. I know that, unfortunately, they didn't really do well in the last World Tournament, but still, I will support.
All right, so let's see who we got in the chat. We got trying to get set up here, guys. I had to rush some
Ranger.
work. Yeah.
You might want to disable that ticker, because that ticker is old.
Now you tell me.
You can just delete that. We don't have a ticker for this episode. We have a lot going on this episode, so yeah, no ticker.
It used to be news.
Yes, that was news last week.
Okay. All right, so lot of shit going on, guys. We finally had the raid launch. I don't think much else needs to be discussed other than that. I think
this is going to be all about the raid.
Yeah, and Finn, I know you have a lot to say about it.
Yep.
I'm having technical difficulties with the stream, so while you're messing around with that, why don't you go ahead and start speaking your mind, brother?
All right, so let me start out with the raid itself. Some things that can help a lot of you guys as you're going ahead and starting to plan kind of how you're going to tackle this AAT raid. Through the week so far, I've been running the numbers from a lot of the videos that people have been posting. So I want to thank, and I may be forgetting something, but I believe the videos I watched were from Arnold and from Raymond. So I watched a lot of your guys' videos. So thanks for that. It helped me get some of the numbers for the heroic AAT raid. I got the numbers for the normal AAT raid, which is what we're doing right now. So if you guys have a paper and pencil ready, I can give you guys some of the hit points for all the different phases in each of the different factions of the AAT raid. Okay, so in a normal AAT raid, phase 1, and I'm going to round here. If you guys want more specific estimates, then go ahead and join us in the Rebel Base Discord after the stream is done, and I'll be happy to give you guys more of the exact numbers. But the estimate for phase 1 is 33 million in normal. Phase 2 is about 79 million hit points. Phase 3 is 51 million. Phase 4 is about 47.5 million. Okay. Then you have the heroic difficulty. In general, heroic is about 4 to 5 times less hit points than normal. So phase 1 of heroic difficulty is about 4 million hit points. Phase 2 is 19 million. Phase 3 is 13 million. And phase 4 is 12 million. Okay, so those are just some of the numbers. My camera froze again, apparently, Ranger.
I know, I'm working on it. Your connection is
Yeah, I know.
garbage. About to put Finity or Grandi in there. You know, we've
So-
never had Finity on there. Right? He's up here. Let me put him up there. Everyone say hello to Finity or Dark Lord Lampshade. There he is.
Hey, uh-oh. I don't have my cat face on, let alone my lampshade. I don't know if this is appropriate. I'm not wearing my work attire.
We have a face reveal of Lampshade himself. The cat is out of the bag. See what I did there? It's funny because he likes cats.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
I
what
got
I
my-
would refer to as a groaner. A groaner.
It is a groaner. Yeah. This is-
I got my cell phone camera up, Ranger. That
Okay.
should help better.
Hopefully, Finity. Okay, there's Finity. Did we lose Grande? I think
we
did.
lost Grande.
Oh no. Okay, Finity's back.
Okay.
All right.
So those were the numbers for the AAT raid, both the normal and the heroic. So it gives you guys a decent estimate on how hard these raids are going to be. What I can tell you is I really like the raids. I'm glad that they were really this difficult. It really puts it into perspective, like how much end game stuff there really is left in order to get. So, yeah, I want to kind of give props to the devs for putting out a really good raid. I know they spent a lot of time kind of working on this and working on the graphics and the artwork and whatnot. I think the difficulty is pretty much where it needs to be. So with that, I think it's a really good raid. Ranger, what do you think?
I like the raid overall. It's been interesting trying to figure it out. I will if I get the gameplay working. There was a new update to my player that I used to do this, and it's not registering. So if I can, I will go jump in tier 4 raid for you guys, and we'll kind of play around with some of the teams, and so you guys can see that. And PvP and Galactic War. Do send your questions in. We have people looking at that right now. So if you have questions, we may not answer them right away. But I do want to shout out some people real quick. Blaine's in here. MJ, my boy MJ. We got Jen. Jen is watching the Cubs game. That's right, Jen. You keep us posted on that score. I want to know what's happening because I can't watch TV while we're doing this, obviously. We have a new person in here, Jose. I don't think I've seen him in there before. Freelog, Andreas.
What's up, Jose?
Patrick Kane's in here. Johnny 5. Shadowville, Droid Lord Griff. D. Mortoy. DM is in the hizzy. So we got a lot of people in here today and really appreciate everybody being here tonight. Kind of a sad and a tough night for me. I'll let Finn talk about that, but I think everybody in the Rebel Base Discord knows what's going on, but if you guys don't know what's going on, Finn,
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Just sticking on to the content a little bit here. I do want to give a suggestion to the devs about changing one aspect of the raid. I think a lot of people, and I've read this complaint on the Reddit and on the forums, the animations.
You're breaking up again, little Finn.
I am.
We got somebody saying.
Your voice is cutting in and out. I think it has
My voice is cutting in and out now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird because I'm not using my Wi-Fi this time. But they
now
said
it's
they
not
can't
working.
hear us at all. Are you able to turn up all of our volumes, Ranger?
Yeah, I just turned it up.
Okay.
That better,
Hopefully
guys?
you can hear us now, Jose.
Yeah,
If you guys are having that
sounds
problem.
fine.
Okay.
I turned it up. I'll turn it up
So-
some more. So
Okay.
okay, go
So
ahead, Rob.
hopefully that works, and hopefully my volume doesn't keep cutting in and out. But something to the devs about making a change to the raid a little bit. SWGOH kind of eats up the battery on a lot of phones, and a lot of times because people are doing this from work or some other things, they may not always have Wi-Fi. So you may want to cut down a little bit on the length of a lot of these animation scenes. They take a long time. The AAT attacking takes a long time. So I would really suggest that they kind of change that a little bit. Make the animations a little bit shorter. Maybe not have the AAT kind of rotate around every time a different gun has to attack and just have the gun fire or something. But I think it's eating up a lot of the different different parts of a phone, like the Wi-Fi or with the data and with the battery life. So that would be my main suggestion.
Good. So what's your overall impression of the raid? Good, bad, fair?
I like the raid. I think the raid was awesome. I'm happy with the difficulty. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it.
Grande,
Yes.
Lampshade, what are your guys' thoughts?
Lampshade, you want to go first?
Sure. I think the things that Finney was saying, I concur with a lot of them. One of the things that I do think is somewhat of a problem, and it could just be that, we're working our way up to 85, and once we get to 85, maybe these hit points will seem a little bit more reasonable. Granted that they're about 4 to 5 times, if I remember looking at the calculations, greater than T7. I think I probably would have liked it to be closer to maybe 2.5, maybe 3 times, just due to the fact that we can actually start utilizing all the energy that we're banking for it. Because right now it's kind of got us in a little bit of a bind. Or if they had just taken the same raid, the same everything, and just reduce the hit points and reduce the level counts and release the tier 5. I'm not saying this is too hard or whatnot, but what I'm finding for most of my attacks, I'm not dying because of the difficulty of the raid. I'm dying because I trigger enrage usually, and that's a little it's just frustrating because it just takes so long and you're just grinding. And I like to see a little bit more progress to get to be can say some success as far as like what is the content, the skill, and the strategy. Love it. I think it's super neat. I think it's super fun. I think it's well crafted. You don't have 2 phases that are the same. I think all that's really, really good. So when it comes down to the content, I'm all for it, but I definitely I'm gonna agree mirror affinity here, and the animations do get a little frustrating because I don't know which laser's firing unless I'm following the hit point, the turn meter under each gun pretty extensively, and it takes just so much time for the thing to turn, and then it shoots, and then it delays. And the cutscene when in P4 when they're bringing the air raid is a little tedious. I'd rather the air raid just hit the second you're done. So, but that's pretty much my only thought about it. It's overall, if I had to put a score on it, I'd put a happy face. So.
Okay,
that's an awful score. On a scale of 1 to 10, you give a happy face?
A scale of 1 to 10, I give a happy face. I give it 4 kitties.
This is why we shouldn't let cats on. I think we need to get rid of
them. Okay.
Man,
Grande, you're up. You're up, Grande.
I'm up. All right, so
the great bearded one himself. I need to get the Lord of the Rings music, so every time like your face pops up, it plays the dun 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 dun. Here, let me find that. Hold on.
You shall not pass.
No. We're gonna get copyright infringement tags on our YouTube. Don't do that.
Oh, don't do it. Okay, we won't do it.
We can do it with our own. We can do it with our own mouths, but not actual music. Right.
So, what? So, what do I think of the raid? I like the raid. I like everything about the raid. I like the fact that you can't. I like the fact that you can't solo it yet, and that it's kind of difficult. I like the fact that we have. I like the fact that we have a challenge. I like the fact that we're using our entire rosters. We're not just making one team to just go all the way through something. I mean, the devs have kind of been working for a while on. I mean, this game is about collection, right? It's about collecting characters on some level, and it's kind of been that way from the beginning. And I've opened up, I have 2 or 3 alt accounts, and you see it on almost every level of the game. You see it from the challenge tables where they want you to get 5 intelligence characters and 5 strength characters and 5 agility characters. You see it in mods. You see it in the synergy events like the Yoda event. You see it in events like the like Palpatine event where they want you to get all rebels. You see it in the droid event, and they've been teaching for quite a long time that effectively you needed to get some kind of a decent roster on something to make it work. And then they gave you a real big clue whenever they dropped enough Jawas to make a full Jawa team. So Houdini! There you go. But so effectively that's what's good about the raid, and it shows you that for the most part, some version of a synergy team seems to work pretty well. Now, should it have had as many hit points as it had? Probably not. And maybe it should have, but maybe what should have happened is there should have been a few more tiers to it. And I say that because, you have, that content is hard on the normal node. And when you're level 80 or you're level 81 and you have 12 to 15 really good characters. But when you look at it from a player's perspective of somebody who's not level 80 yet or not level 85 yet, it's really tough. And it doesn't work. Imagine a whole guild of level 40s trying to open up a normal AAT.
Oh Lord. That's thought of that just.
But I mean, I think that's the point, though.
And I mean, maybe that's the point. But if they're going to have this amazing cinematography, and they're going to have these amazing cutscenes, and they're going to have these amazing ships that fly in, wouldn't you want more players to see it? I mean,
you're right about that, but I think their intent was always to have like the AAT raid being the raid after the Rancor. Not after like individual tiers. I think it's supposed to be above whatever the max Rancor level is, and that's why they didn't include any lower tiers.
I mean, you make a valid argument there. I guess me. I'm all about everybody gets a chance to participate on some level, and I think it would be cool. I mean, and you're right. I mean, you can open the thing if you have a guild of level 40s, but
it'll take you forever.
It's good. I mean, can you imagine? I mean. What's it taking a pretty high speed guild like the Mighty Sai? How many of you guys done, or what's your
in phase 4 right now, so we're looking at about like a 5-day clear.
You'll get about a 5-day clear. Okay. Yeah. So another guild, it would probably take them a month maybe to clear it.
Probably more than that, because a level 40 probably won't even have the 6 stars in order to form multiple squads.
So maybe your level. I mean, you could potentially have a it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So, who knows? I would really like for them to have done it slightly differently, just so that more could participate. That's probably my biggest thing that I would have really liked to have seen. We'll see. Maybe they a lot of times they bring out content and then they make slight tweaks to it. And that would have been, it would be nice if they could make slight tweaks to it. So that's what we'll do. We'll kind of wait and see. As far as the content concerned, it's amazing. I like the fact that you can't basically solo it with one team. I really hope they don't. My biggest recommendation to them would be, don't now make a character that you get somewhere that you can now put in a team and now you can solo it. That would be kind of a letdown after all of this anticipation and the fact that it's stinking hard and you're trying to figure out the best comps and stuff.
You're referring to Dengar a little bit?
I'm referring to Dengar a little bit. Absolutely. I felt like the Dengar, probably pre-Dengar, maybe a few people who had some really good RNG and they had some really good knowledge. They could have, if they were super awesome, they could have soloed it. But, somebody that couldn't, somebody who didn't have that knowledge and who didn't have that nice of a roster, they couldn't have soloed it. I mean, there were very, you saw maybe a few maxed out Ewok teams maybe be able to do it. But I mean, most people, maybe when the raid first came out, they didn't have an amazing Ewok scout. And maybe we'll find the team that will do amazingly better as we kind of progress through this thing. And then, of course, for a lot of us, it's the first time we're seeing a phase. anytime you do something the first time, you're probably not going to be the best at it, and you'll probably get better and better and better as you keep doing it and keep kind of figuring it out.
Yeah.
All right. Very, very, very good information. So, Finn, where do we want to move on to next, my good?
All right. So let's share the news that the Rebel base knows and what Ranger was alluding to earlier. I, as a result of the actions of EA and CG this week, am going to be stopping playing the game.
You son of a bitch.
Don't you do it, Finity?
One of the things that I mentioned this on the Rebel base Discord and with our guild, and this isn't a decision made over a week. It's been something that EA and CG have been kind of doing for a while. And honestly, it's not the devs. I think a lot of the devs are doing great work. I love the content that they put out, and I do honestly love the AAT rate. The problem for me is the way management is taking this game and how they're continually talking out of both sides of their mouth, and they expect players to be stupid and just sit by.
Not me.
So as a result of that, I am no longer going to be playing this game. And I'll tell you guys exactly what is going on. I'll tell you what my side is, why I'm no longer going to be playing. You guys can make up your own minds. My only thing that I would mention to you, whether you agree with me or you don't, is just keep an open mind, because I believe that EA and CG right now are trying to take advantage of every single player out there. And if you're not careful, you will be taken advantage of. Okay? So this actually starts back in May. So back in May, when the Rancor raid came out, there was a big issue of guild hopping. And a lot of people were complaining, and there was some murking aspect to it, and for the murking, the idea is that people would go from guild to guild, just helping out guilds that needed to complete the raids. And so they would join in with a large roster, they would go ahead and attack and basically get the rewards for it. And then they would just keep on jumping. As a result of that, they put in that 48-hour rule, which effectively cut out murking. But what happened?
I think that it's important that we realize that maybe it didn't quite do everything you're saying it did, but that's okay.
What do you mean? It stopped murking, but what it essentially did is had guilds that were compiling coins until they were maxed out, and then they would murk.
I mean, there were people that still murked, but they just murked on they murked as helpers, not for the reward.
Correct. They did it just in order to help out people.
Yes.
And so if you don't know kind of how this whole thing worked out, I made diagrams on how you can exploit the 48-hour system, but that's no longer there. But I'll show you guys how that works. But in May, when all of this came kind of to a head, CG basically put out a statement saying there's nothing wrong with guild hopping, that there's nothing wrong with players that are willingly considering going to other guilds and helping out. It's a trade-off, and they actually like to see the teamwork and support that brings players together.
Okay? Yeah.
So this is back in May, where they're basically saying that guild hopping is out, or is fine with everybody, that it's not going to cause anybody to be banned or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's move forward to the AAT raid. On October 7th, EA Jesse put out a post about the tank takedown raid. And this came shortly after we did our stream asking for information. Just doesn't have to be detailed information, just some information about the raids, kind of what the progress is, those kind of things. They put up some really cool artwork and animation things. If you scroll down to the bottom, EA Jesse is pretty specific about the rewards. It says players that earn spots 1 to 3 on the leaderboard will receive the highest amounts, while ranks 4 through 50 will earn the same number of shards. Not 51, not 52, not 73, not 86, ranks 4 to 50. Guilds are 50 people. it seemed to imply pretty strongly that this was a raid designed for one guild. They said 1 through 50 will be getting the rewards, which made it sound like 1 through 50 would be the ones that are able to attack. And they had talked in the past about looking into the guild hopping and how to find a stop to it.
Sure.
Right? So then they came up with the actual post that came out on the 25th, which is kind of and so actually before that in the game update, so these were in the developer updates. In the game update, he put out that the 48-hour rule was no longer there, and they changed it to a max of a 210,000 participation guild currency system. I call 100% crap on that system. One, it's based on a week, and the week isn't defined. They did not say when each of the weeks started, when this 210,000 thing was going to be started, nothing. Two, we are coming close to November 1st right now. A lot of guilds are planning to save up currency in order to start getting to the top of the leaderboard. Okay? That means that in that week, instead of 210,000 being the max, it's actually going to be 360,000. In a Rancor raid, 360 means 6 Rancor raids. Based on this 210,000 crap, that means that they'll be missing out on half of the raids and rewards for doing nothing wrong. If somebody joins a guild that is getting ready to make a push on the leaderboard, instead of getting rewards for maybe 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 6, they're going to be penalized and only get rewards for 3 out of 6. I call crap. They put out an update basically saying that they were trying to find a way in order to not hurt people that were honestly trying to switch guilds. This is going to hurt people that are honestly trying to just find a guild and not trying to hop. So I think this policy is 100% crap. And if this is what their solution is, this is why I am quitting the game. Because there is something wrong with the management of this game.
Whoa.
Either they are out of touch with how this game is run, they don't play this game well enough to know how the more extreme players, the ones that are actually giving them money, really want to play, or they just don't care. My feeling is that it's more towards the I don't care. I think as a result of Star Wars Uprising kind of tanking now, this game and its management is thinking about the fact that this game is probably coming close to its end. They are no longer thinking about how to make this game last for the foreseeable future. They are now trying to milk every whale of every dime as they can before this game runs its course. And this is kind of seen with the whole PvP tournament. How it was nothing more than a buy fest in order to buy crystals in order to get your way up to the leaderboard to buy this exclusive character that will probably be put somewhere in the game within the next couple months when Rogue One comes out and will be somewhat easily accessible. Actually, much more easily accessible than in the PvP tournament for everybody to play. So I think there is something really, really wrong with management of this game right now. They don't know what they're doing and what direction to take it in. And this might have been just kind of a thing with Star Wars Uprising kind of failing that they've changed it. But I think this was a really, really stupid thing. So now let's go to October 25th. Before EA Jesse posted this post, my thought process was to come on here, explain all of the problems, and then say, let's see what EA and CG do in the next week. And then from there, I'll be able to make my decision. Because I was on the fence before this EA Jesse post. After the EA Jesse post, I know that I'm quitting. And I don't know if this is a post specifically by EA Jesse, so I don't want to put the blame directly on him. I don't know if he's just trying to convey messages from the higher-ups that are making decisions about the game. But whoever put together the wording on this post and the ideas about the post clearly show that they have no idea about what's going on in the game. So let's start with the beginning, because I'm going to kind of go through this one by one with everything that EA Jesse posted. So they're working on 2 fixes that they plan on putting out by the end of this week. The first one, raid rewards, and quote, raid rewards will now only be granted to ranks 1 through 50. Ranks 51 and above will receive an inbox message saying that they did not rank high enough to receive rewards, end quote. So This was a raid designed for a guild, not multiple guilds. This was a raid designed for one guild. I am sure when you spent beta testing the last 2 months, you did not check to see whether or not this guild, whether this raid was scaled for 100 people or whether it was scaled for 75 people. I am sure that you scaled this for 50 people. Why do you think that this is only about the rewards? If you have 57 people that attacked in a raid and you're not giving the rewards to 51 through 57, you realize that ranks 1 through 50 are getting rewards for a raid that they didn't deserve, that they were attacking in a raid that the 50 of them were not able to complete, but somehow they get rewards and 51 through 57 don't, and somehow this is going to magically make everything better.
Well,
no.
let's go over that point for a minute. So,
Okay.
Is that person going to get the rewards if they're not in the guild anymore? So
that's another thing too. I don't think they're going to get it if they're. I mean, right now that's still the same policy that if you're not in the guild at the time of the raid reward, you don't get anything. Because
okay,
you become a Mola Liza when you leave the guild in the raid.
right. So I guess my thought is we kind of maybe need to hold judgment a little bit until we maybe see exactly
why
how that
should 1
works
through
out.
50 or whoever, I don't care if it's only 1 through 10 that get rewards. Why should a guild that needed more than 50 people in order to complete a raid get the benefits of completing a raid? It is a raid designed for a single guild, not multiple guilds. It is a raid design. They scaled it for 50 people. They scaled it for everybody to be maybe not quite at the level, but towards the level of Team Instinct. This isn't a raid that was designed to be completed immediately after it came out. They don't make it a guild co-op mode where you can join with another guild in order to do it. So why should any guild that needed more than 50 people in order to complete a raid scaled for 50 people gain any advantage for having 51, 52, 75, 85 attackers?
The riposte, El Grande.
We're not. I mean, none of us. If you remember back before, this is in-game content. You already said it before. If it's in-game content, then and we're not even at the level cap right now, and we half our characters are not to gear 11 yet. So maybe their wording could have been worded a little bit better whenever it says it's for level 80, gear.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with the difficulty. So I said it from the beginning. I like the difficulty. I just don't think that a lot of guilds right now, like our guild is not ready for heroic.
Sure.
But we should not benefit if we merged with another guild and alternated attacks, that we need a 65 attacks in order to beat the heroic and we get benefits from it. I don't see why we should get a benefit from it. We should wait, do normal until we're ready for heroic, and then do the heroic raid. I don't feel any need for me to say that our guild has been around for long enough that we need to be able to finish heroic. Okay. That's not my point at all. This is something we should be working towards. It's endgame content.
Right. I mean, effectively, I think this boils back to an old problem, right? Which was the fact that maybe they didn't quite think through all of these guilds and the system that we're talking about. Maybe that wasn't fully thought through, or maybe there were some unintended consequences of doing some of these actions that, they didn't. Maybe this is not a new problem. Maybe this is an old problem that just is rearing its head again, so to speak.
But it's okay. So that goes to my next point. Okay. This is an old problem. Like I said, back in May, and I'm referencing that post in particular because they kind of made it clear. They are fine with guild hopping. So why all of a sudden does rank 51 not receive rewards? You're talking out of both sides of your mouth at this point.
I'm not. I'm not.
No, not you. Not you. I'm talking about the policies that EA and CG are trying to put across.
Well, maybe they're conflicted themselves.
Maybe
they're trying to balance out somebody that needs to move a guild for whatever reason, and then they're trying to balance that out with not having this other thing happen. And so how
But
do
they
you?
specifically said back in May that hopping guilds and helping others, and they like to see the teamwork between guilds that would otherwise be competitive working together. This is what they said in May. So then what
I
is
mean,
the reason of making 51 plus not receive rewards? This is why I'm quitting the game. It has nothing to do with the content. It's the weak management of the game. They don't know what direction they want to go in, and they constantly backtrack on their own decisions. If they think something is right, stick to it.
well,
People might disagree, but they'll move on from it. You can't keep on changing your mind like this. This is crap.
I guess my rebuttal to that would be that whenever you download this game, we're not even in like the 1.0 version of this game yet. We're still in like the 0.3 or 0.5 version of the game. So maybe it's because we don't know yet, right? Maybe it's because they're still working. It's not a totally complete product. I mean, we have whole sections of the game that haven't opened up yet.
And this is something, and raids have been out since May. They've been working on this specific raid for 2 months after they said it was going to come out. How much time do we need to give them to fix guilds and raids? And if you can't get them in 6 months to fix guilds and raids, how can you expect that the new content is going to be any better?
I mean,
like I said, my problem is not with the content. My problem is with the management and how they're leading this game. They are uncertain about how this game is supposed to work, and they're constantly going back on their own stuff.
I think that people are entitled to, they're trying something new. They're trying to please all parties, and that's a hard balance to make. It's a hard balance to say, okay, some individual wants to move from one guild to another, and then maybe realizes he made a mistake or she made a mistake, and then they want to move back to their other guild, or maybe somebody was accidentally removed from a guild. I mean, think about all the things they did right. Do you remember how? Do you remember how competitive it got for in some guilds? Now the 3 at the top, they get the amazing rewards. What's up, Assassin Master? How you doing?
Oh shit!
Good
Assassin Master.
Good to see you, brother. But so you've got these things that they fixed. I mean, they've made so many better steps this time, right? I mean, we've potentially got much more testing that happened on the game. That's why they delayed it. We potentially have more communication about the game. That's why they delayed it. I mean, we never got a post like the posts we get now.
No, you're right, and that's why I started off by giving
I mean, so you're. I mean, I get it. They're human beings. They are not perfect. I mean, Lord knows I'm not perfect.
I'm not expecting perfection. I'm expecting movement towards perfection.
Well, and that's what
How dare you, sir? There's no such thing.
But I'm saying that, we were sitting at a C- or a D+, and we've moved considerably higher than that. To me,
actually, I would disagree.
Okay,
I mean, content-wise, so this AAT raid, the content of it, I give an A.
Absolutely.
I think the devs did an amazing job with the AAT. Even my one criticism about the fact that the animations are long and maybe eat too much battery, minor.
Okay.
The direction of the game and the rules behind that raid have gotten considerably worse. To me, it looks like they have no direction. I don't know if it's because of Star Wars Uprising and the fact that they kind of flopped now.
I remember, yes.
They've gotten into maybe a little bit of a panic mode and not sure how this game is going to go moving forward. Whatever the situation is, whoever is managing the direction of this game is lost. And either they don't play this game well enough to be making decisions, or they're playing it and they just don't care. And my fear is that it's more of the latter. That they have the name of Star Wars associated with the game, and their thought process is, okay, well, we have something named Star Wars, people will pay money for it. To put it as an analogy, maybe outside of the gaming world, if I want to go into the sports world, essentially you have the 76ers in this game now.
I don't know, that's pretty harsh words, my friend.
That is exactly how I see this.
I mean, that's
You
pretty
have
low.
talented people on the team, but you have people above making decisions that don't know how to put those pieces together. I think the
Exactly.
devs are doing an awesome job in terms of putting out the content of this game. I
I
think
mean,
this
I mean,
time
look,
the beta testing
look,
of the
we've had,
AHT raid was better, but whoever's making the decisions on how to implement the raid is sorely mistaken on how to do it.
so, I mean, effectively, they're managing a community, right? And so, effectively, they're like a governing body on a community, and every time they make a change, there's like a unintended consequence that nobody could have anticipated. I mean, there's hugely smart people
Huge.
that have made much bigger blunders than this. I mean, we could talk about, and I don't mean to pull up ancient history, but we could talk about French Vietnam and their whole deal with trying to control the rat population in Vietnam, and where they were actually paying for rat tails. And what happened is instead of people killing the rats, they just cut off the tails and they left the rat alive because that's what they were getting paid for. These are hugely smart people that made those mistakes. And so if these people are basically trying to make the best decisions they can. I get it. They made a mistake. I get it that maybe you have a different idea or I have a different idea, or they should have communicated it differently, or they should have worded it differently, or maybe they should have come out with a different policy.
You're right. I'm not disagreeing with that, Grande.
Okay.
But this isn't the first time they're doing it.
I get. You're right.
How many times are we going to make this excuse for them?
I guess just whenever I see progress on some level,
they're constantly taking one step forward and two steps back. They made good progress and then they step backwards, kind of in spite of themselves.
I hear what you're saying. I mean that they didn't. They also corrected it fairly quickly. I mean the thing came out on a Friday. Right? Came out on a Friday and they made a correction by like a Monday or late Tuesday.
What correction?
I'm talking about the fact that they're exploring.
Oh yeah, that they're looking into the problem. Yeah, because I'm sure there were plenty of people that were complaining.
Right.
And there were guilds that were completing the heroic raid that really didn't deserve to.
So so my thought at that point is if you have somebody who who's recognizing a problem or recognizing a mistake and trying to make corrective actions, in a shorter period of time than they did before, and they're communicating what they're talking about and the actions that they're thinking about taking. I'm not going to nitpick their words if they maybe they should have said, not said level 1 to 50, 40 to 50. Maybe they should have said 4+ or something, and then all of a sudden it would have been we would be having a different conversation. I mean,
the conversation for me would have still been the same. It's that this is a raid that was scaled for one team. The fact that he mentioned it, fine. Even if you ignore the fact that he said 1 through 50 or 4 through 50 back on the 7th, even if you ignore that, this is a raid designed for one team. It's not designed for multiple. I don't know why they allow for multiple guilds to work together in order to complete a raid designed for 50 people.
I mean, I can't argue with you there. I don't know.
And to your point about the fact that they did this kind of steadily, or rapidly, I should say, I do agree with that, and they do deserve some commendation for doing that. The problem that I have, and this is what I was saying earlier, I was planning just this week to come onto the stream, point out the problems, and say, let's see where we are in a week.
Okay, sure.
Instead, they put out this, which gives what they think are the solutions, and the solutions that they put out show to me that they are out of touch with what this game needs. And that is why I'm quitting. Because whoever is managing this game, I think, is out of touch with what this game really needs. Currently, right now, if I was to guess, I think maybe there are 3 guilds or maybe like the sub-factions of the guilds that maybe be able to complete Heroic Raid, which is Team Instinct, and I think they might have like 3 or 4 guilds. Order 66, and I think they have about 3 guilds. and FTB, which I think has about 3 guilds.
Okay.
I'm not sure there are too many other guilds that are even coming close. I think last I checked, there were about 15 or something guilds that completed it.
I'm not looking at the roster at the moment, so
Let me check. I'll go into the game right now and check it because I know Ranger is playing. So
That's
let me see
right.
if I can
am.
I mean, I didn't mean for Finity and I to monopolize the conversation.
Oh no! Trust me, I still have more to go. It's all good.
I'm sure you do. You always have more to go, and I've also known that typically whether it's just playing devil's advocate or whether it's for real, whenever I make points and counterpoints against Finity, I'm usually terribly upset with that I did that, and Finity can point to multiple instances where I was like, well, I'm not sure I agree with you, and you've basically been like, later it's been proven that you were like 110% correct, and I just made a total fool of myself. And so, and that's why we have you around.
So there are currently 44 guilds that have completed Heroic Raid, of which 17 have completed it twice.
Right.
I don't think that's where it should be. I don't think we're at that point yet. Maybe we are, but I seriously doubt that that's where we are in the game.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I mean, I guess part of the deal is, and I'll just tell you this, just to be honest, the reason why I'm arguing the counterpoint is because I don't want you to quit the game. I mean, if for my purely selfish reasons is that I like having you around. So it's not that I'm arguing the point because I feel like it's correct. I'm arguing the point because maybe I could throw a Hail Mary pass and you'll be like, oh, maybe Grande has 1 point, and then you won't quit.
Well, so I can tell you this right now.
Yes.
There is no way I'll be able to play again because
Never say never.
I feel like, well, no, because right now I feel like management doesn't know what they're doing with this game, right? And while I want this game to be
but
better,
I've said that so many times before, and look at my addicted ass still playing.
No, but here's the.
I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. I've gone on some major rants. Like I've set some records. I mean, I had some women crying, some baby screams at some of the things I've said. So let's just keep it real.
But here's my problem though. I'm pointing out all the things that are wrong in hoping that they'll change the game and the game will be for the better. But from where I'm sitting right now, my point is that the management is weak and whoever's making the decisions is not convinced that their decisions are correct.
Wrong.
That we are essentially at the point where while they beta tested the content, we are now beta testing their policies.
Double wrong.
That they're not thinking about what the policies are before they're putting it out there, trying to see if there's a public uprise and then changing it. So if they go ahead and change it, that just proves that the management is weak. And that again, we're just beta testing it. So for me, at this point, there is no win for the management of this game, and I'm not going to play a game where I think the direction is down.
I can't fault you with that, man. It's just like when Merlin quit the game. I mean, I had similar discussions with him. And for those who don't know Merlin, he's the one that got us started with all this shenanigans.
Yes.
Good old Merlin. I was actually just talking to him last night. But you reach a point where everybody's got their own tipping point, so.
And I'm normally the optimistic one about the game.
I know, I'm the dick. I mean, let's keep it real. I'm usually the one going shit bonkers over something they did. Not all the time. There's been many times that I've, agreed and said that they've done good things. But we all reach that point. However, I just want everybody to know that I will still be streaming. So I've had a lot of questions on that. Even though Finity's quitting, you will always be welcome back. All right.
I may still be on the stream. I'm quitting the game. I may be able to give. I'll be talking with Ranger. I don't know how much advice I can give afterwards if I'm not playing, but yeah.
Well, you can still do that. You can still do the stream. I don't have a problem with that. I think everybody would be fine.
Until I'm replaced. Until I'm officially replaced.
Well, who am I going to replace?
But we'll get into that. We still have more to go.
Who the fuck am I going to replace you with? Grande can come in and hang out. How dare you, sir? That's like
Where
recommend.
is Lampshade? Is he still in here with us?
No,
Is he
Lampshade had to go.
Because
Oh man, he hung up. I mean, I was
that's what he
waiting.
does.
I was waiting.
Grande, this is what he fucking does. He comes in
I was
and
waiting
then
for
he
the comic relief.
disappears.
I was waiting
There's
for
no
the
comic relief.
Oh, I was waiting for. You know what really needs
This
to
is the
happen?
same man that
we-
was washing dishes during a stream.
I remember that.
That's your recommendation.
I was just hoping we would get this would all be solved if somebody would just run Chief Nebbit lead. That's what I was hoping for. I was like, come on, where's my comic relief, man? I'm like, somebody make this situation not
When
just
you
up.
need him the most.
When I need him the most, I was like,
He farts in your mouth. It's what he does.
I wouldn't say it's that
Yummy,
bad.
yummy, yummy. I want more farts in my tummy.
Oh.
That's his whole mentality, man. It's like, I'm here. Let's talk. Lampshade, what's your thought? Lampshade? Lampshade.
Complete
So
silence,
no.
like cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket.
So Lampshade's listen, I give Lampshade a hard time, but
Oh my gosh!
he's more than welcome to come in here anytime. Even though it makes me,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
makes silly comments.
yeah,
But
he does make good points.
I like it. I really like comic relief.
Jen's right. What a butt sock.
Lampshade is a butt sock.
He's
He-
right.
All
Butt
right.
sock for the win.
So
Mm-hmm.
so going to the next part of the post that EA Jesse put.
Right.
So there was an exploit.
Yes.
That was that, and I'll quote EA Jesse here. Players that were in a guild, exhausted their roster on a raid, were kicked from the guild, and then rejoined the same guild would have their rosters refreshed.
Right.
After the update, player rosters will not refresh when the above actions are taken.
Right.
That part, fine with.
Okay.
Now comes the next statement. In addition to the above fixes, we have taken note of players that have exploited these bugs. Actions will be taken against these accounts once we have a complete list of offenders.
What a load of shit.
This is what I have a major problem with.
Okay.
So
I have major
let's
problems with this
go
as well.
to this guild hopping thing.
Right.
So you have a player outside of a guild with 47-star modded characters, right?
Uh-huh.
Then you have a guild.
Right.
Let's say player A in that guild has 47-star characters. The guild completes all of its attacks. They kick out player A. They re-invite player A.
Mm-hmm.
What is the net effect on the guild? They have gotten 8 more attacks outside of the original 50, right?
Right.
Now, instead of kicking out player A, they invite player B into it, who also has 47-star characters. What is the net result on the guild?
Listen, this is not goddamn grade school, man. Just spit it out. I don't know.
If
Train A leaves the station at 5 o'clock and Train B leaves the station.
Ranger has already taken off his shoes and socks to try to count.
I know. Thank God I've got that extra digit. After that, we're in trouble.
Essentially, whether or not you kicked and re-invited the same person, or whether you kicked or invited somebody from outside of the guild, the net result is that the guild is ending up with extra attacks outside of the original 50.
Talon just
what the hell difference does it make whether or not they got a refresh?
Talon makes a great point. You promote guild hopping and then you're punishing it.
That's essentially exactly what they're doing.
What a crock of shit. I'm sorry. You can't sit there and then push that this is a good thing for all this time. And then when somebody does it, because it's not exploiting. It's not. If you allow it in the game, I've had this debate with people. Exploiting is when you see something that is wrong, that is not supposed to be allowed, but it happens, and then you take advantage of it, like the rewards that happened a while back. That's exploiting. Cheating is when you just go in there with some kind of software or something, or
in other words, I mean, we're making a huge distinction between somebody who somehow roots the game and hacks the API, so that no matter whether they win or lose a battle, it shows that they win.
Right. That's cheating. We know what an exploit is, but when you sit there and say this is cool, and then say, "Oh, this is not cool," You look stupid.
But the net result is exactly the same. That was my point with the math. It
Right.
doesn't really matter. The net result is that the guild is getting extra attacks outside of the original 50, which is something that you promoted. You promoted this back in May, encouraging people to work together. So then they get extra. That's exactly what happened with this exploit that you're calling. This bug that you put in, all it did was give extra attacks to the guild. What difference does it make what player it is that does it?
And to the player base, that's a great point, Trent. Trent made it. Players want other players punished. Let me tell you something. If you're a player, do not be mad at the players that did this. Be mad at CG and them for allowing this. This was encouraged. This was told that this was okay. Now, if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at them. Now, if this had never been allowed and it was against the rules, you would have every right to be screaming to the high heavens that this is some BS. I would be with you. However, when the game developers and the game designers and the whole management team and the people running this company are like, thumbs up, you can't sit there and go back and say, okay, well, now we're going to punish people. Because it's hypocrisy. This is an example of total hypocrisy. You know, it's like some players got upset and like, maybe we did something wrong. Well, we'll look tough by saying we'll punish people.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
I know of some players in particular that are very concerned that, you know, that they made mistakes. I mean, incredibly concerned, almost to the point of paranoia that they screwed up. Because they're like, oh crap, like what did I do? You know, my best friend who's in another guild asked me to help him, and he's my best friend, and I was like, yeah, I'll come help you. I mean, I sort of get your point there. I also know that they don't have a lot of tools at their disposal to try and get something to stop, so they have enough time to focus on whatever the problem is. So maybe sometimes they use that maybe a little bit loosely, maybe looser than they should, but they don't have very much they don't have very much other things that they could say to someone. I mean, what are they what's going to get someone's attention enough to say, oh crap, let's not do this for a little while until they come out with a policy? I don't know. I mean, I get why we're all conflicted about this issue. I do. I very much get why we're conflicted.
I'm not conflicted.
I know. You made up your mind. You made up your mind a long time ago. I always try to see something from both sides and try to come up with some kind of a compromise. I mean, come on. We have a Discord server called Grande's Compromise Discord. I mean, it's kind of in my nature to try to say, how can we make this a good situation for everybody?
It can be annoying sometimes.
I know it can.
Like, God damn it, Grande, knock it off.
I know. You're like
I'm gonna be angry
and you're just gonna like it.
Just gonna like it.
I know. You've said it multiple times.
Like you can't. There's certain times you just can't compromise. You just gotta go kick that ass. It's that simple. Time to ante up and kick in, man. Sorry. We tried diplomacy. Fuck that. Someone's got to pay.
I know, and I know you have. I'm just, I'm just, like I said, I almost can't help myself. What I was gonna say.
You have the images ready, Ranger?
Yes. We want to go through these real quick.
Yeah.
Xfinity wants to show you guys.
Yeah.
What he's talking
about. So apparently they want all of us to be able to kind of work together. And they've implemented this rule now. If you guys checked in one of not the latest, but the one before update, about how they dropped the 48-hour rule. Mm-hmm. And instead they're doing the 210 maximum if you're switching. Now, like I said before, I think the 210 is crap because it punishes players that are legitimately going into guilds, especially right now, that are saving up tokens in order to get higher up on the leaderboard, which is kind of crap because they don't want to penalize those players, but that's exactly what they're doing. And the fact that they don't say when this actually works, right? They're saying that they're doing the 210, but they don't say what exactly this week time period is, whether or not it's reset every Sunday, whether or not it's reset every Monday, whatever the hell this is.
Well, now it could never have a reset, right? It could be a rolling.
It could be rolling.
It could be rolling.
It could be even stupider, but that's
well, I mean, is the 48-hour cooldown a rolling timer? I mean, last time I checked,
it resets. It's not.
Are you?
I mean, it's
I'm
not cumulative. It
I-
resets. I think.
No, I'm fairly confident that it's rolling, and so effectively, like you get a portion of it at one period, and then you get a portion of it again at another period. I haven't tested that, and I'm sure someone's way smarter than me would know that. But you know that it's
But
not
I mean, when you joined a guild, it said you were out for 48 hours
right.
for rewards, and I think if you left and you joined another guild, it would say 48 hours again.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience.
I'm fairly sure about that. I'm not 100%, but I'm
Okay.
fairly sure that's the
Okay.
way it works.
Okay.
But so
You know who would know the best? He's actually in chat right now. Would be Droid Lord Griff. Droid Lord Griff would know exactly how this works.
But going to the 48-hour thing, okay? So
Yes.
48-hour cooldown, you could take advantage with a 2-guild system. Right?
Droid Lord Griff just said, Grande, the 48-hour cooldown is rolling. You are correct.
Okay, so it keeps on accumulating the 48 hours.
No, in other words, if you hop in and out of a guild, you know how it says like, you know, that the guild exchange is not available to you.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you jumped in and out, and then you jumped in and out, and then you jump back, and you jump back. So you had already made your 4 jumps or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That potentially, whenever the guild exchange became open for you again, or some version of a time like that, it may not be that exactly, but that's an easy one for you to know. That then it like half of your stuff was back again.
Okay.
Anyway, I got you off topic, so
okay.
Please continue.
All right,
but so the 48-hour system could be kind of taken advantage of with the 2-guild system. So the red one is going to be the main guild. Your orange guild is going to be pretty much an alt guild. So guild A, you basically max out. And so this is the thing that they stopped, by the way. So I want to show you guys the difference. So at the beginning, you got guild A will start out with 150 tokens. You do a 90, you spend 90, complete a raid, and you get down to 60. So you'll see a little counter on the right side there that shows that the red has 1. They've completed 1 raid, and the orange one has come to 0. Your alt guild is just going to be accumulating points. Now, this is for a guild that can complete a heroic raid on their own. Okay? So now you go to day 1. On day 1, you're still just accumulating your points, but you can switch your guilds after you do the first raid. So you'll see that guild A goes from 90 to 0 because you complete the actual raid. And then you switch the whole red team, which are going to be 50 players. You switch them into guild B, and then your alt can go back into guild A, and they can start accumulating the points. Okay? So you'll see the little counter that shows the cooldown. So now guild A, or the red team, which is in guild B, now has a 48-hour cooldown. You go to day 2, both of the guilds are still accumulating coins. So now guild A has 30, guild B has 120, and the red team is now on a 24-hour cooldown.
Top of the 5th, 1 out. Cubs 2, Indians 0. Man on
All
first.
right, go Cubs! Here comes Brian Dunston to the plate.
Sorry, I'm playing Lampshade and Grande at the same time.
Holy cow!
Okay.
Oh, God.
All this ratings make me want a Budweiser. It's the king of beers. Continue with your rocket science, Finn.
Okay.
Okay.
So day 3. So day 3 got a little messed. I assuming you fixed it. It's screwed up a little on my end, Ranger.
You're on day 3?
So, yes. So on day 3 now, you'll see that Guild A has 60 coins. The red team is in Guild B. You've reached 150 coins. You spend 90. You're now down to 60.
So.
And the red team now has 3 done.
Right.
Okay. Day 4, you go ahead and spend your 90 there. You switch back to the other guild, and now you're on a 4-day cooldown. And you just keep on rinsing and repeating this. So Guild A will get to 150 coins. You do a raid. Then you wait the next day. You do another raid. Then you switch after. You do the 48 cooldown. So if you just want to scroll through really quick, Ranger, by day 7, you'll see that the red team, so those 50 players have done 6 raids, and the orange team has done none. Okay, so this is essentially if this is a guild that can complete the entire heroic raid on their own.
Right.
So now they put in this 210,000 thing. Guilds that can complete a raid on their own have no reason to leave their guild, because then they might be tagged by this 210 limit. Right?
Right.
So the strategy that I'm going to put out now is how you use the system if you are in a guild that can't complete it. So the way to do this, and it depends on how much help you need. So if you don't need, so the way I have it set it up is with a 3 guild system, and that means that you need about 30 extra attackers. If you need less than that, you can go down to a 2 guild system. But so I'm just going to talk about the 3 guild system with this. So what you do is whoever is the main guild, right, and that's who I have in red, is going to have members split up evenly amongst 3 different guilds. Those are the ones that will never move. They will remain in that guild, so they will always be able to get the rewards of this raid.
Right.
Okay? So the other spots are the ones that will constantly be rotating. So you have orange, yellow, and green. They're not full squads of people. They're going to be like partial ones, like probably about 38, 37 people that you'll just kind of keep on rotating around. Okay? So on day 0, this is the final result, that eventually 2 teams attacked in Guild A's raid, two of the squads attacked in Guild B, 2 of them attacked in Guild C. Now, because this is the first day of rotations, right, they will have contributed to 180k worth of raids, right? So the first raid before they switched, and then the raid that they switched into.
Okay.
With me? So
Yep.
that means right now, the red team will have 1 raid worth of loot. The orange squad will get 1 raid of loot. The yellow squad will get 1 raid of loot. And the green squad will get 1 raid of loot. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now you go to the next day. On day 1, all the guilds have 90, right? But now you have to rotate, and the other ones are now on a cooldown. So they won't get any other rewards, so they're going to still be stuck at 1. But now the red team hasn't switched, so now they have 2 guilds, or 2 raids worth of loot. Day 2 is going to be more accumulation. On day 3, you're still accumulating because you need to get to 90 for the AAT raid. And on day 4, you'll do the rotation again. And now the red team will have 3 raids done, and the other ones will still be at 1 because they're still going to be on a cooldown. So if you have a main team and you have some smaller teams, you could do a rotation like this in order to actually get everybody loot. Now, if you look at this process, the red team is basically going to be what I call the alpha team, which is going to be the main guild that you're trying to get equipment for. If you're doing an alliance with other guilds, they are probably going to be the ones that have the most number of 7-star characters. They're probably going to be the strongest squad. So they're going to be the ones that are evenly distributed. What is the benefit then for the orange, the yellow, and the green, which are from 2 other guilds that are just kind of separated? Right now, the normal AAT raid takes about 5 days to complete for a lot of guilds. Maybe 4, some are maybe closer to 6 or 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you exchange a normal raid for an entire week for a heroic raid for an entire week?
Probably.
I would.
That's the exchange that you make.
Yeah.
With this system that they have in place,
So then,
if they change it right now to where it's going to be like if it's a rolling system where every time you switch, you get that 210 limit, you might want to bring in more smaller groups so that if you have a couple of other smaller groups, they'll rotate in during days 3 and 4, and then the other ones can just start their own normal in the meantime or something like that. But you could easily start a rotation with 1 alpha guild and a few smaller guilds. The smaller guilds will still end up getting rewards, and the bigger guild will constantly get rewards as if they weren't, even though they are not capable of completing a raid on their own, they will get rewards for a week as if they were. able to complete it on their own. And that is how you manipulate this stupid 210,000 system that they have.
So let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Instead of quitting, why don't you help them find a better system?
Because they came out with the post already.
Well, but
I was planning on doing this before EA Jesse put out this post and giving my solution on how to fix it.
So then why don't you still give them your solution?
I will give them the solutions, but I'm still quitting.
Oh. Well, then will you quit and become a consultant for them?
No, I have better stuff to do.
Okay, fair enough.
I have my own job that I'm dealing with. So
Send them to Texas. This is what happens.
I know it, right? What? Don't even get on Texas, brother.
Hey, I'm from Texas. I can.
I know.
My hotel makes Texas-shaped Belgian waffles in the morning.
Yes, I'm sure they do.
It's literally the
hold
waffle
on.
machine press that they have is in the shape.
Hold on,
Texas.
Grande. Hey, hold on a second. Grande, let me give him the Texas test. You know what I'm
Okay.
talking about, right? All right, Finney, you ready?
Oh God, is this going to be something else where I mess up BF?
Yes, here we go. Ready? Just listen. The stars at night are big and bright. No, he's not.
Down on.
I so wanted
Land
to
of
do it.
Texas.
I so wanted to do it. I almost did it, and then I was like, let's just see if it happens.
No. He hasn't been there long enough.
No, Texas.
No!
Bravo Foxtrot. Bravo Foxtrot. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means
I know
every
that
day.
does not mean you're
Best-
my BF now.
That's good.
I'm learning. No, the reason I was saying this, Grande, is whoever is making these decisions and coming out with these solutions, this is my point. They're not looking into the system. They're just coming up with random things and hoping that it sticks. So that's not a game I want to be a part of. I don't mind helping. I've come on here for the last 19 weeks.
Absolutely, you
Come
have.
out, giving my suggestions, saying what's wrong, what's right. I think I've tried to be pretty fair about the stuff that they've been putting out there. I'm not always hating on everything because I try to see both the business side and the gaming side.
That's me.
Absolutely.
But when they put out something like this, just as a result of trying to appease people on their face, saying that, okay, this whole guild, this whole roster reset thing as a result of kicking and re-inviting, this is like they're trying to insult my intelligence. Like pretending like the players, and maybe some of the players don't, right? So I'm a lot more into reading the forum posts and the Reddit and trying to do a lot of this analysis and stuff. So I'm aware of that fact. But the fact that they put out something like this is an insult to the community's intelligence. Because they think that, okay, they're just going to put out a few words and make it seem like there is a problem. And because they have this little problem and they're putting out a fix that, okay, look, they're working towards a solution. No, the solution is crap. The solution is basically saying, okay, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how to solve it. We're going to pretend like we're doing something.
It's
and
garbage.
let's pretend like everyone will be happy.
Hold on, Bimatsu. You're not allowed to quit. Japanese people don't quit. They get even. Because if you quit, then we both have to use the swords on each other. I don't want to do that. So let's not do that.
So let's continue a little bit now with the rest of EA Jesse's post. Because there is one sentence in here that pissed me off to no extent, and this is the main reason why I'm leaving.
I still feel like you're just beating that guy up.
No, so it's not EA Jesse. Like I said before, it's not EA Jesse. I don't mean to put this on EA Jesse, but he is the one that is putting out the post, so he has made himself the face of this. I personally don't think it's EA Jesse that put out this particular thing. He's just the one. He
did a video.
I think it's whoever, I know. But if you've watched EA Jesse's videos, I mean, he's a really nice guy from all appearances, but he's not hardcore into the game. Like, even when he's talked on, like, the Galactic War Report and whenever and I've watched some of the interviews, not all, that he's done with the actual game players, he's basically a casual fan that's kind of going along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But he's the one that's putting out the post, and I know EA Jesse may not know the game well enough to say whether or not this is correct or whether it's not correct. Right? I'm not expecting that of him. But if he's the one posting it, he's the only name I can attach to it. I can't attach somebody unknown from EA. I can't attach John Solera's name to it because he's not the one that's posting.
Well,
The only name I can attach is EA Jesse, so that's why I'm saying his name, but I'm not trying to put it at his doorstep.
Like I said, Finity, I mean, I'd like for you to make a post and explain exactly, what you think the better solution would be.
I have that coming. Don't worry.
Please do, because I think
just like this video.
Yeah,
just
that's easy.
because
just
I
say
want
we
to
apologize for Ranger. Watch.
So
okay, so you didn't get angry and mad, which that's cool.
So continuing with his post now.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
Quoting him. Lastly,
Dear
in a future update, we are aiming to make it so players in a guild when a raid is started will be the only ones to receive rewards from that raid. Again, I don't know why the focus is only on the rewards when even if you only allow the 1 through 50 players that are starting the raid, why you should even allow 70 players to help complete the raid. But at least that's a step in the right direction. Now comes the last paragraph. We have attempted several methods to allow guilds to add players during an active raid and have the newly added players participate in and benefit from the raid. Now, the sentiment of this is good, except that sentence just promotes guild hopping.
Yes.
The fact that they're trying to allow it is basically saying, okay, we want to allow guild hopping so people can come in and out and help people out. So that sentence is stupid.
Does it make your dick hurt?
Stop it for a
Only
minute.
your dick constantly hurts, and coming from a doctor, I think you have something medically wrong with you. But we'll move on from that.
But I don't think that's where that statement is going.
No?
Oh, God,
thank you.
For the love of Christ, he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. He's like a bad prostitute.
So Lampshade,
I need
know
the comedy
sentiment
relief.
is to allow guilds to fill up spots and still allow them to attack.
Is he on
But
camera? No, he's not.
It's who on
No,
camera?
Oh,
He's not. He didn't put his mic up. He didn't put his.
No. But so I understand what the sentiment is. The sentiment is to allow guilds that may have like an opening in order to add somebody and to complete a raid so that new person doesn't have to be left out. I understand the sentiment, but the wording of that is clearly open to guild hopping. I don't care what they meant. I'm looking at what they wrote, and what they wrote is all for promotion of guild hopping.
We have a lampshade sign in. I'm putting him back up.
Okay. So
he got wait. He is face reveal for lampshade again.
Yes.
What is he? Is he wearing his unicorn costume?
Yeah, he's
okay.
back. What's it?
And he's doing dishes.
And
okay.
he's doing dishes. You son of a bitch! I knew it. I'm trying to give you a moment of clarity and offer you an olive branch, and you shit on me. What is wrong with you, man?
Oh,
all right.
Oh,
so getting back,
I'm going back to Grande.
I get it. Back on point. Back on.
Back to you, Grande, because I don't want to see dishes or cat food or cat turds or.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Get a litter box. And there's a kitty. No, he's showing his cat. You guys can't see it, but I can. It's like, no.
Yeah, I can see it now. His dishes and his cat.
There's a cat. Let's look at the cat. Hold on. This is because Lampshade will have a conniption.
That's the real Lampshade.
Yeah, there he is.
We've been
talking. You look better.
He does look good. We've been talking for like an hour. I would kind of like to know what Lampshade's opinion is on this whole thing, and I want to know what Lampshade's opinion is on Finity saying he's going to quit the game.
Yeah, Lampshade, speak your mind, legitimately.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. I'm getting to a better area where I have some light here that are not involved in dishes.
Right.
So yeah, let's just jump on the first piece. So the fact that Finity's quitting,
doesn't it make your dick hurt?
Well, no, I got a shot.
That's not how I would describe it.
Years back, so that problem is ended. But
maybe I need a shot.
I'll tell you what, it is definitely unfortunate. I have to say, I've made some amazing friends. Shout out to all of the Mighty Sai. Shout out to everybody in this chat. Shout out to people that I were in the guild that we do not name, and Rebel Base. It's been awesome, and Finny's been a friend through and through, and I think that's probably the hardest piece. Is just it's been fun kind of coordinating with him throughout the entire process and watching.
I'll still be around. I'm not dying.
Cubs 5, Indians 0. Jennifer's letting us know in chat, by the way.
Holy cow! The Cubs are winning a World Series game. Up in heaven, we call that an ass kicking.
Yeah. So I mean, it is one of those things that he's not dying, but this was one of those things that you bond on, and Star Wars is one of my favorite things of all time.
And I just want to find. I mean, I don't want him to stop because I want to keep having something to communicate with Finity about.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing that I think is really important. And as far as what I truly think, I understand that he wants to stand for his principles, and he wants to stand what he believes in is right. And I get that.
I respect
I
that.
think
I really do.
no,
Yeah.
no, and I know of anybody, GP, you totally do.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
my one point and my problem with it is his views for why he's quitting. I don't agree with, and I think I think you had said it best, GP, is that I think it's not even 1.0 yet. And I think, the doom and gloom of this game has been ongoing for 6 months. Oh, they started raids, doom and gloom. Oh, a new raid launch, doom and gloom. And I'm trying to think about the positive. But I support him in his decision, and I understand it. I hate it. I do not like it. But I understand this is a point that is non-negotiable for him. But I will always accept him back. I will always bring him. He's always a member of the Mighty Sai, and he's still gonna hold officer status in the Discord because we love having him around. So he's not going anywhere. It's just we won't be talking to him about how our 5-star Jawa or the new Jawa drop, which is not happening. I'm just saying when they release a new Jawa, it's not gonna be on the top of his mind. He won't get to know about Nevit's sister. I'm just saying.
Well, I did want to. All right, I think we've beaten this subject.
We have.
to
Can we
death.
talk about another subject, please?
Wait, but I had the fun sentence to read. You didn't let me read the fun
Oh,
sentence.
okay.
Okay,
I want you to get you through
Okay,
your
I'll
points.
read it, but I won't comment. Okay.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay, I'm good with that.
The next sentence in that paragraph. However, this philosophy has opened raids up to various means of exploitation, which undercuts. This is the best part. The overall importance and value of raids. I'm not going to even comment on that, but that is why I quit.
Okay. Wow.
Sad day. All right, let's move on to happier things.
Let's move on to much happier things.
I'm going to attempt to do the tier 4 raid. It's open now. We got to that point. So
Thank you. Here we go.
Let's watch.
Love it.
We had to get through all that, but let's watch Ranger get destroyed. This could be ugly. All right, so Ronda,
Jennifer wants a meta report at some point, so we probably need to look at that.
I don't know if we're gonna do the meta report this week, just because we're having some technical difficulties.
I could read it if you wanted me to, but I don't know.
Has it really changed that much?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while, so let's go over to our good friends, and especially as how our good friend Urban Blaster would call it, SWGOH.
Oh wait.
Right?
You know one thing.
We should get a Assassin Master in here.
I know you didn't want to talk more about it, Grande, but I do have my suggestions on how to fix all of this.
I totally want to hear your suggestions because solutions to a problem are really the best.
No, he quit. He can't offer solutions.
Well, I can still try to help.
No, denied.
You're gonna kick me on my way out?
No, I'm not gonna kick you on your way out.
Ranger is.
I want solutions. I try to always be solution oriented, and so we've griped. Now let's move past the gripe.
Well, before we do that, who should I go? I don't tier 4 raid T6. Where should I go in with?
Who you got?
Jedi Counter Squad.
Hold on.
Jedi Counter Squad. Okay.
Rebels. You should go in with Rebels. You should go in with Wedge Lead.
He's not yet. I might get raped.
Well, show me your wedge. Scroll down and what I don't even have your SWGOH up right now to even know where your wedge is.
It's like barely right under 6,000 power. It's not even
That's not the wedge he's talking. Hey Ranger, that's not the wedge he's talking about.
Oh.
Okay. What if you you could run an Akbar lead then with Akbar
Lando. Lead? What the hell, Grande? You're making Ranger's dick hurt.
I'm sorry. Do you have it? I know he has Akbar.
Yes.
Let's run like Akbar, and then let's run like Lando, and then let's run. He's not too shabby. What are you telling me? You got this cruddy guy. Run it just like that. You got a maxed leader ability. So run Wedge Biggs, Lando. You could put Leia on the team if you had it, and then let's put another high power guy. How's your HRS doing? Or that works. Akbar, Lando, Leia, Wedge Biggs. Just run a rebel team. Whatever rebel team you feel like running.
Okay.
You guys okay with that? I mean, I kind of just told him what to do, but I'm sorry, I took over there for a minute.
It's okay. I'm new to this part, so
Sometimes Ranger just needs a strong male presence telling him what to do. It's okay, GP. We all do it.
well, thank God that's not you.
And it never will be.
That's
Oh
right.
gosh, you guys.
Gunships are activated. Destroy them from above. Kinky. Okay. So who am I attacking first here, and what am I doing?
So I haven't even seen it yet. So the typical strategy that I've seen that seems to work the best, especially if you're running kind of a weak-ish team, is going to be to get rid of the B2s first.
Should I AoE or at all with my AoEers?
I would AoE with your AoEers, and then I would just focus target one of the B2s. So AoE first, and then focus second on one of the B2s. And then once you get the B2s down, and it's hard because there's a slight delay on the video. You want to focus on that top cannon.
Okay.
The top cannon. You want to get rid of the B2s, and then you want to focus on the top cannon, and then
Is it fair to say it's a pretty decent strategy to alternate between the left and the right cannon once you have just the cannons left, so you never trigger the air raid?
Okay. So far, so good. Ah! He shot me and killed my wedge. Should I restart this or just go with it?
I mean, the thing is that if you get rid of the B2s first,
I did, but I still got smoked.
Yeah, it's going to happen. So what you're doing is, I mean, you could try it. Try a reroll. Move it. Try a reroll.
Let's try
just
it again.
exit out and try again. I mean, it's not like you're going to get a whole bunch of. I mean, you are because you're running a normal, but you could see a complete difference in the RNG potentially one versus the second one.
True.
Droid Lord is saying to don't kill both side cannons, just kill one and leave it.
That is correct. He is correct with that. So 2 B2s, the big cannon on the top, and then one side cannon. But try not to topple it. And the reason why you don't want to topple it, especially if you want to run weaker teams in after this team, is because because then you're only dealing with potentially 2 enemies instead of more.
Is Grande still there?
I'm here.
All right, yeah. I'm killing the B2.
Mm-hmm.
Kill B2. Shoot him in the face. Shoot him in the face! All right, Lena, big hit. Big hit, big man, no whammies. Oh, I forgot you didn't have this. Son of a... All right, so now I just got the 2. I got the big kit turret on the top, and the 2 little ones. I'm gonna kill the top turret. Let's give a. Oh, here comes a smash. Oh, we survived it! Yay! Now you said not to topple it and just shoot the...
Yeah, dude. Here's the problem with the topple, because whenever you topple it, we didn't really go over its abilities, but whenever you topple it and it comes back, it like this airplane thing flies over you, and if you don't have any positive status effects, it like 9999s you for hit points.
All right, so let's get rid of the big cannon up top.
Big cannon up top, absolutely.
All right, and then just shoot the tank itself.
And then after you get rid of the top cannon on top, then we want to go for the center mass, and what'll happen is, if we keep going like this, then what it means is that the B2s will not respawn. So I wish we had that. I do, Jennifer. I do wish we had the AAT in Iraq. That would have been.
Oh my god.
Sweet. Can you even imagine? So
Okay, so now we just have the one cannon on the right. And we're just gonna shoot. Dodge? How do you dodge? You're a damn tank!
it's got.
Oh
It's
man, this really would have helped you in Iraq.
Yeah, I'm telling you. This. I mean,
A
I'm
dodging
telling you.
tank.
That's incredible. Let's lay some scunion. Let's get rid of it. Alright, so the top turret's back, so we want to get rid of that, right?
So just another thing, as Ranger, I know you're attacking. Can you open up your guild chat for a second, though?
My guild chat.
Yeah, in the game. Let's just show the nonsense that's going on in guild chat right now.
I see bunch of
Level, promote, level.
right.
Mhm.
What is that
They
noise?
still haven't fixed
God damn it,
This is my
Lampshade!
problem with the game. Who thought this was a good idea?
I mean, it is nice to see stuff, and then some of that
We're
information.
back.
Okay, some of that information, some of that information could be helpful, right? I mean,
No.
if you okay,
Not with a guild that communicates. This is why we talk on Discord. They
I know.
basically made a whole part of the game that they developed.
Right, but not everybody has Discord though, Finney.
Yeah, and so if we put a message in guild chat, you think people are going to see it over this person?
You only get 50 lines in guild chat. So potentially, if somebody was like taking somebody from 0 to hero, right? They were taking a character from not unlocked all the way up, and then they also geared them all the way from 1 to
That's 16 lines right there.
Well, I don't think it actually talks about the gear until
Plus
after
the
their gear
16. You'll
6.
start at 4 stars, so you'll get 4 there. Plus,
Yeah.
It's
I
like
mean,
8 lines.
Yeah.
Like, so either you have to pick that crap and hope that you can see the raid stuff, or you deal with not having any of it. If you don't have any of it, at least you can talk. But I mean, I don't understand the decisions and who thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I like you said, I mean, that goes back to the same. I mean, we could have that conversation about anything. We could have that conversation about bots in Discord, right? We could have that conversation about bots in, and automated.
Yeah, but that
messaging.
was because people are jealous of the fact that other people are getting higher scores with the bots, and they just need to work harder in order to get the points.
So look at this. Droid Lord Griff says he's actually done that before, and it just says max gear, max promotion.
If you do it fast enough, because there's a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it just
there is a small delay, Griff, but you can still. It doesn't show 1, 2, and 3. I believe the first star that it shows is 4-star, and in terms of gear, I believe it's the first purple, which is 7. And then after that, it'll show it.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at here right here. Emosa Kasky says he saved some noobs from wasting resources on Mob Enforcer and Cup, so it could be useful. I mean, if you see somebody leveling up.
I only did 158,000.
No, but here's the deal: is now you don't have to deal with the B2s. So let's see what other teams you got. How's your Jawa team or how's that going?
I haven't even geared them yet. There's 7
So
stars.
what's another? Let's go look at your character. Let's go look at your character list again. What
Good
about
old Maurice is upset that it's wasting on Mob Enforcer and Cup. So.
You want to see my full roster, or you just want me?
No. I got. So I mean, you could probably run like some version of a Jedi team, like an Anakin lead with.
I'm a Gundy.
You could run. I'm a Gundy or Anakin. Some people like one better than the other. I'm not. It doesn't really get any buffs, but Qui-Gon's not bad. You could probably run I'm a Gundy lead with Anakin. That'd be good. Run I'm a Gundy lead Anakin, and then just run a couple other Jedis that you feel like you've got good. And you know what? Throw in Throw in Ewok Elder on that team.
Don't have Ewok Elder done yet.
And you already killed your Akbar.
Yeah, that's okay though.
So throw
You
in.
could do a Barris. She just wouldn't clear.
Yeah, she just wouldn't clear.
And of
But
course, the damn players
Barris,
acting up.
Barris hits so junkily. I think that you might do better with like a Lumi on that team, maybe. To have a healer that actually hits like a champ. Because Lumi geared up is pretty sick. Now you've got at least some version of mods on most of these characters.
Oh yeah, they're all level 5 mods.
Okay.
Pull the game back up because it was frozen.
Yep.
I do have one piece of strategy that I was playing with. I've only
Sure.
done it a couple times, but
While we're doing this, we should be probably start asking questions. It's getting to
Well,
that point.
I'm gonna go through my suggestions really quick on how
Okay,
to.
do your suggestions
Yeah.
and let's get into questions while I try to figure this
Okay.
shit out.
All right. So the first one is just make it so the 50 people at the start of a guild attack are the only ones that can attack. Forget about this rewards crap. Only the 50 that are there when the guild is opened are the ones that are able to attack. I do like the concept of limiting how many guild coins or tickets a player can have if they're moving around, but I don't like the numbers that they pick. So if you switch a guild, or if you switch from guild, a 210k limit on the AAT raid, I think is reasonable. I think that the Rancor should be 300,000. And the next one is add something to the player profile that lists how many guilds they've been in the last 7 days.
Ooh, here's a good suggestion from Trent Johnson. Whenever you get the game back up,
Okay.
he's saying I'm a Gundy lead, Jedi Knight Anakin. How's your Ayla doing?
Not good. I
Okay.
still got a lot to.
What about Kit?
Get
you need
Fisto?
to-
No, I'm farming them. I'm working on
Okay.
Wedge right now.
So then let's go Qui-Gon for sure on that team and Anakin on that team.
Yeah, they're max.
And then what's another Jedi that you have? Maybe like do you have Lumi or
I do got Lumi and Barris.
I've
got Yoda.
Oh, you know what? That would be a great choice. Try Yoda in there with with Lumi. So that way you've at least got a heal.
Okay.
And then I can't remember if that thing can hit you through foresight or not. Maybe somebody else. So Trent Johnson is saying the key is the right B2 and then the left. Main gun, left gun, right ASAP, then pound it. I would agree with you, Trent Johnson. That makes perfect sense. If you're running a super high powered team and you're trying to just do max damage. However, there's a way that you can potentially
you can actually juggle it and never trigger the air raid.
Right. That's because you don't want the air raid ever.
Yeah, I juggle it. So basically, and there's no enrage on this one. So you take out I usually just take out the B2s with AoE, but I keep my focus on the top gun whenever that triggers, and then make sure that I never take out both the left and the right gun at the same time. Let them recap, and then while the things are down, target.
I mean, you get a lot of morale bonuses for actually toppling this gosh darn thing. So let's kind of hear Trent out for a minute. If we want to hear Trent out on this, what he's saying is, call me OBGP. Okay, I will call you Obi. I'm sorry. So it's Obi cries. You know, if you put him in there, I apologize. If you put him in there, what'll happen is you'll he's saying that basically you could use Yoda's tenacity up before you. Man, she got slaughtered. You put Obi's, you put Qui-Gon's tenacity up, or you put I'm a Gundy's defense up, and because you have the buff up, then you won't get then you won't get smacked.
Just a second, I'm trying to get the.
Should I finish my suggestion?
Yes, please.
So it's just 3 parts. So the first one was only the 50 at the summon can attack. the next part is that 210 for AAT is fine. It should be 300,000 for the Rancor. The last part is just create a thing in the profile of each player that's the number of guilds they've been in the last 7 days. If that number goes over 4, they have a 1-week timer where they receive no raid rewards.
Ooh, so Obi's saying that with the buffs up, he usually takes no damage from if he can topple it, and actually to I mean, that would be sweet because the morale bonuses you get from that. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever read through the morale bonuses. They're pretty over the top.
To be honest, Vinny, I actually really like that idea where you can actually see that profile or have it in the back where it actually runs and checks out the 4 different if somebody's jumped. I think that's a solid. That way, if you want to murk, you can, but you have to take that risk of, if I do 4 in a row, so that way there's some type of cooldown. But I think it's a step in the right direction. I don't think it's the final solution because I think people may just take the, I'll do 3, let it cool, 3, let it cool, 3, let it cool.
Yeah, but you can do 3, but then you're limited by the 210 or the 300,000 limit. That's why they're both there.
Oh, I agree.
You put those 3 into place, you effectively stopped, I think, most of the guild hopping. I was trying to figure out if there's a way around it because if you can only be the 50 at the start, you have to be in the guild to begin with. If you jumped guilds, you're limited on the number of raids you can participate in for that week. There might be a little bit of question right around the time of the switch, which I have to maybe test a little bit on, but I don't think it's going to be significant enough.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way they go if they start prompting the no more hop or if they're actually going to support it's a guild, it's for everybody, support everybody. And right now it's still the water feels too murky to me to actually see what their clear intentions will be. I just want them to pick a side. I think that's where I lie for the most part.
And that's why I'm leaving because they don't know what side they're going to be on.
We know you're leaving, Finny. You don't have to keep rubbing it in my face.
In general, at this point, there's nothing bringing me back. But for their own game, they're coming off majorly as doing nothing more than trying to milk every single player in the community right now for all they're worth because they don't think that they're obviously this game is getting to a point where it's becoming really difficult for new players to catch up. The difficulty of the heroic AAT raid makes it really difficult for new players to even think that they're going to be in earshot of that anytime soon. And with the normal attrition of people in any kind of game, you're going to have the older players slowly leaving just from normal burnout, which means that there isn't enough inflow into the game as much as there's outflow. And it comes out very much looking like all they're trying to do is get every dime out of everybody that's playing right now, which is really sad.
Having all kinds of fun technically.
Oh, that sucks.
God damn it.
Maybe it's telling you that at some point we need to go through the questions, and then we need to and then after we go through the questions, then maybe it's time to watch a little bit of baseball, bro.
Yeah, I think so. Let's get to some questions.
We can start questions.
Do you want me to scroll up and try to find them, or have you already been keeping track, Finn?
No, I haven't been keeping track.
Did we have some questions that were dropped in the Discord earlier?
Let me check.
Somebody drop the ball if we have no questions.
No. We had people asking questions. I just wasn't able to keep track.
So Assassin Master asked, kind of a way back up, did Affinity change his mind? I wish he did. I would love it if he did. Then another bunch of comments. What do you? So then,
topple this.
Topple it. Just topple it, just so we can see what it's like. Because I think that it's important to see what it's like, but and it's important to see what it looks like potentially. Whenever you have buffs and whenever you don't have buffs. So this question comes from Imsa Kasky. I don't know what his in-game name is, but he says, "What do you guys think of a heavy clone team for Phase 1 for the tank raid? Rex lead, obviously." I don't know if any of you guys have that team. I do not have Rex or Echo or
You're a bad whale.
or I'm a terrible whale. I just play one on YouTube when people ask me
Bad
to.
whale. Bad whale.
Bad
You
whale.
Speak
I'm-
whale.
I'm not. Oh my gosh! If you guys only knew how not a whale I was. But you know, would that be a great team?
Idea. That was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
That's
you know,
murdered.
effective. Yeah, you 999 did, except for the guys with buffs, right?
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So you can pull out and re-roll.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Pull
out.
I knew that was coming out.
I knew it was coming too, right? That's what she said. Pull out and re-roll.
Heaven. Jen, you can comment on that too, Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. So would a Rex lead work? Absolutely. Rex is an amazing lead. There are some amazing clones. Clone Charge is actually pretty cool with his AoE turn meter reduction. So yeah, by all means, run a clone team. In fact, it's almost like clones. They tell you that Jedis get a buff, and they tell you that Jawas get a buff. It's almost like clones get like kind of a stealth buff in a way. So I definitely would agree with you there. Let's scroll through. Here we are. They're asking about screen names. Those are questions, but it doesn't matter. We keep scrolling down.
Ken keeps killing one Jedi. Ugh.
Yeah.
Vinny, with you leaving and whatnot, I've got some bad news for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently surrounded by 5 cats, and I just don't know what to do with myself.
Well, why maybe you should pet your kitty.
Thank you for saying Kitty Grande.
Who do I look like? Donald Trump? But done. Ooh, did I just go political? Back up.
Man, I'm still scrolling down. The Boom Boys said, "I'm confused. Is Finity quitting?" Yes, Finity is quitting. So Obi Christ said, "GP, will you feel that way if the man comes down hard on us? If I did anything that was wrong, and I've said this before, if I did anything that CG deems as being wrong or deems as being inappropriate or conspiring or exploiting or cheating, I will take my licks on the chin. And then after that, I will figure out what happens. But would I feel differently about it? I mean, I'd probably be a little sore over it, but then I would I'd get over it. I mean, we have some amazing players that came back who were banned for the Vader thing, and they did okay. So,
well, I'm willing to bet what Finny will come back for.
What R2D2? That's what he'll come back for.
No, quoting the devs, ships, mic drop.
Ships. I mean, we haven't talked about ships in a long time.
Because they haven't talked about ships in a while.
Well, I'm still a little bitter that they even said ships mic drop. That was a little silly to even mention.
Well,
they should have just stayed quiet.
We had that discussion last week, though.
I mean,
they should at least give us a nugget of something every now and
well,
then.
I mean, you remember when mods came out and they just said, "I'll just drop this here."
Yeah, no, that's
It's
why I was saying last week that their whole communication process was bad.
It's a teaser. I mean, it's a teaser.
Yeah, but
right?
you have to keep up the tease. It's really bad when you just say one thing and then you just leave it for months.
Well, my problem
Like,
is
you have
not
to
that it's a
slowly give
tease;
them
it's the
little
fact that they said it
every
as
now
if
and then.
it was a mic drop moment.
Sure. So,
and it wasn't a mic drop moment.
Well, maybe EA Jesse was doing so many interviews that he just couldn't hold the mic anymore.
So then here's the next one. Is they're asking, are you going to continue to stream with us?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question. So, I'll we'll be looking for a replacement for with Ranger as he still plays the game. We'll figure out that. I'll probably still be hanging around for a while in the meantime. But one of the other things I'm going to start to do, and if you guys have suggestions, I am more than willing to hear them on the Discord. If you guys want to PM me suggestions, I do plan on looking for another app game. I do have one in mind right now that I plan on testing and making a video for.
Pokemon Go?
No, not Pokemon.
How dare you, sir?
So I'll be making a video about me starting a new app game. See if it's fun or not. I'm not doing a live stream on it only because I'm still in a hotel, so my internet can't kind of handle it, and I'm hoping to put it out sooner than later on that. But once I get home, I'll probably try and do a stream on it. And if you guys want to play, we can play together because there are some team options with the game that I'm thinking about. Somebody just mentioned, Praetorian Pyro mentioned that there's a new DC game coming out, DC Legends.
Oh yeah,
so that may be a game that I'll be playing as well. So I'll be working on finding a different game. So there will be some other streams. Ranger and I, for the near future, will be holding down the fort here with the stream for a little bit.
Can I still come on?
Of course. Grande is like my replacement at this point.
I'm like the replacement.
You're the replacement. I'll change all the images to say Grande on it before.
Apparently people don't like the fact that I look at my second screen half the time, and my camera's on the first screen. They're like, Grande, it's creepy. You're looking at your phone, or you're looking at the second screen all the time. And I'm like, so I had to move stuff around, so I was actually looking at the screen rather than. And of course, there's some other problems too. Half the time I'm not on the screen, so I'm standing up, I'm stretching, I'm scratching my nuts. I'm gonna have to not do that anymore. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Well, I hope you stay. I hope you stay. You stay with us. Maybe you find another great game. I think finding another great game would be super cool. And
I'm looking for multiplayer games with like a team aspect to it. So
yeah, absolutely.
We can play together.
So is there any more questions while I get my ass kicked?
No, not really. But it's easy to get your rear end kicked on that thing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I have found, my characters are not very well modded, so effectively, I do not topple typically because typically I've lost a bunch of characters, and so I come in and basically handicap the thing, and
that was brutal. I got 120,000 with a Jedi team and got smoked.
Yeah, and poor Yoda, look at that,
right?
poor. Oh my God!
He got smoked right in the beginning, right in the pooper. I'm going right to GW. I just couldn't even. It's like, oh my God, oh my God. He was like, the future we will.
So.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions,
that's all I got. Nobody PM'd me anything. Did anybody drop anything in questions on Rebel Base?
You guys blew it with the questions tonight. I just
there was one. No, we blew it with the questions. Because as we were talking, I wasn't able to keep up with the chat. So if people were asking,
I scrolled all the way back up and scrolled all the way back down and tried to fun.
Yeah, but we can't go all the way to the beginning because there's a limit on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I went as high as I could go.
Yeah.
It may not have been. We got all the way up to where apparently I was talking about French Vietnam, which is pretty far back. But anyway, it's we'll have another stream next week. You want to do all your normal stuff that you say?
Let's close it out. So thanks everybody who came out. Really appreciate it. We had some sad news, but we were able to see Ranger get smoked in the tier 4 raid, and it's the gear stuff. I've got some really good tunes, but I will be farming. I'm finishing Wedge and trying to get him and Biggs geared. Right, that'll be part of it, and then I'm going to go for Plo Koon and some other guys, and then I'm gonna start working on gearing out all the Jawas I have. There's 7 stars, except they're Jawa engineer. I just got to gear them out. And my priority has been getting Biggs and Wedge done. So that'll be where I'm kind of going to. So we will have an after party after this in Discord. I will not be in there tonight. Too much going on with work and school and everything.
I'll be in there.
But Grande will be in there, and Finn will definitely be in there. So
Grande the whale will be there.
Yeah, Grande the whale. Lampshade will be in there. Monkey Ass O's for all the stuff he put us through tonight. And that's a great place to get there. We have fun. If you have questions, it's a great place to ask questions in there too as well.
If you need help with your roster, I love helping people with their roster.
Yeah.
So if you have roster questions or you have mod questions, let's try to help you out.
Because what Grande will say is spend a lot of money and get tunes. And then that's his answer for everything.
Actually, I have more rooster questions than roster questions.
Oh,
so.
Jesus Christ.
But bump.
All right. All right, so let's end this stream. It was a good, fun stream. So, Finity, I will let you take it from here.
All right. So, go ahead and subscribe to our channel if you guys liked our SWGOH streams, and I'll be coming up with some new stuff, hopefully, for other games also. So please subscribe so you guys can get updates on those.
We need the subscriptions and likes and all that stuff for the love of Christ.
You know what? Even if you don't like it, give it a thumbs down.
Yeah. Give us a thumb one way or the other.
Yeah, it's subscribe at least.
We prefer the thumbs up, though.
Tell us how you feel. Tell us how you truly feel. We really want to know, and we really do.
Jesus and baby Jesus, please, God, like our channel.
Right. Continuing here, so we have a merchandise store on Cafe Press. It's cafepress.com/realityskevedgamers. We have a few up there now. We're going to try and work on putting out some more new designs and stuff on there in the near future, so definitely check that out. We have our website, realityskevedgamers.blogspot.com. It has been honestly a little bit inactive lately just because of the workload Ranger and I have had in real life, but hopefully that'll clear up a little bit soon. So we'll work on getting more updates there. In our YouTube description, you'll see a link to the Rebel Base Discord. So if you guys want, after the stream, go ahead and hop in there. I'll be in there with Grande, and
we got a few guys we got a few folks in there already, Prelog and good old Maurice. So that's way cool.
So go ahead and hop in there, and we can chat about stuff for a little bit.
Awesome.
And other than that, I will probably still see you guys next week.
Yes, we'll be back, and so will Grande, and so will Lampshade.
Yes.
Yes, he will. So, all right. On behalf of Reality Skewed Gamers, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you guys next week.